one of my therapists yesterday about posture, and we were going through some of the very common postures that we see, that us as body workers and practitioners see 90% of the time. And one of the things that I was discussing with him was the grades of these common postures and how to identify when the person is starting to come into that posture, or they have maybe a minor version of that posture. So I wanted to share some of the concepts that I was talking about with him yesterday with all of you. So one of the most common postures that we see is a form of upper cross syndrome. And I've talked about upper cross syndrome in other videos, but really 90 to 95% of the population has this issue. And what this is characterized is by the forward head posture, right? So we have the cervical spine is really curved out, and then the upper thoracic spine has kind of like a kyphotic curve. And then it's something like that, right? So we have, well, that's a really ugly head there, but you guys get the point. So the person's head is very forward. So we have a forward head posture, and the upper thoracic spine is curved out. So this is a really extreme version of what we're talking about here, right? However, we're noticing more and more that 90 to 95% of people are starting to come into that posture due to cell phones and texting. So most body workers and practitioners understand that and can see that. Those of you who are personal trainers, you see it. You see it quite often. However, oftentimes it's not a true upper cross syndrome, right? So if their cervical spine is somewhat still straight, but they've got internal rotation of the shoulders, and they're starting to kind of do a kyphotic, have a hypokyphotic back, that's still cause for us to start to address those issues before it becomes worse, right? So we all know the pain scale. We usually will ask a client on a scale of 1 to 10, how much pressure is this, or how bad is your pain today? So one of the concepts that we're employing here at Emotion Sports Massage is having a posture scale where if the person has a forward head posture, on a scale of 1 to 10, how bad is it? So a 10 being it's completely forward and those muscles really, I mean, they're at the max. And a 1 is where, you know, maybe you're seeing a slight, you know, a very slight forward head, but it's not too bad yet. So ideally, we want to catch people. The majority of people are walking around somewhere in between there, right? Because we're looking down at our cell phones, we're staring at the computer. So that forward head posture is starting to occur, but not quite stuck in place. So the fascia hasn't really solidified it. And normally, you won't really see, you know, an excessive curvature of that cervical spine until it's way too late. Like they've been doing it for years and now they're stuck in that position. So here at Emotion Sports Massage, it's all about pain management, preventative care, looking at the body and making sure that people aren't getting worse, right? And managing their pain symptoms, but also helping our clients to correct some of these things before it gets worse. So a forward head posture, on a scale of 1 to 10, let's say that this client has a 5 of forward head, right? So maybe it's a 5. And then excessive curvature of the upper thoracic spine, right? So that's the hypokyphotic upper back. Let's say they have a 5 there too, okay? And internally rotated shoulders is definitely going to play a part. And this more than likely is going to be maybe at a 7, okay? So when we're scaling people in this way, we can start to identify, do we need to refer them out to a practitioner? So I would say for a forward head posture that's at a 5, this person probably needs to already start doing some chin tucks, right? Getting those deep neck flexors to really start to activate and strengthen. Somebody who's maybe at a 2, you can start telling them about their chin tucks. You can help them, maybe they need to bring their seat closer at work. Maybe they need to wear glasses. Some people are walking around not wearing glasses and they're looking at their computers and they're just sort of like leaning in. I mean, I do it all the time. As soon as I take my glasses off, I start feeling myself lean in. So if you have a client that has like about a 2, we're just going to educate them on correcting posture, being in the most comfortable positions that they can possibly be in, so that they don't end up at a 5 where they have to now start doing corrective exercises or chin tucks or something to strengthen these deep neck flexors. Now, if somebody is at a 5, we're going to want to make recommendations and then also refer them out to a PT to help them strengthen those deep neck flexors. Possibly even a chiropractor if there's some distortion in the cervical spine, which we can talk about in a later video. And then this excessive curvature of the upper thoracic spine, if it's at about a 5, again, we're going to want to start strengthening, right? At this 5 level, you're already here. Maybe you don't have a fully hypokyphotic back, but I can almost guarantee you your rhomboids, your mid-traps, that client's mid-traps or rhomboids and even the lats are probably going to be pretty weak. So we want to focus that client in on strengthening the upper back muscles. And then these internally rotated shoulders, the majority of people are around at a 5 and a 7. All of us are doing forward motion, right? We eat our food forward. We usually will internally rotate or medially rotate our humerus. Okay, so the majority of people are going to be pretty bad with their internal rotators. So this is something that every single session, you can ask any of my clients. They hate me for this, but every single session, if we are working on upper thoracic or upper body work, I'm always going in and releasing their internal rotators. So that's it for this video. I'm going to segment this video to another. This is going to be a part 2. But I want you, those of you who are practitioners and body workers, I want you to start thinking of your clients in these. I want to challenge you to start thinking of all of these common postures: upper cross syndrome, lordosis, or flat back, lower cross syndrome. All of these common postures that we see, we usually don't notice them until they're really bad. So start to notice them before they even get to the point where they're stuck into that position. And that's really where we're going to be able to make significant change for our clients that are dedicating time and effort and money and resources to come in and see us so that they can prevent having this type of pain when they get older or in years to come. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like this video, go ahead and subscribe. Stay in touch if you're a body worker and you want to become part of our network. We are creating a network here of practitioners who are looking at the body in this clinical way. You don't have to be a massage therapist. Absolutely, personal trainers, yoga instructors, fitness instructors are welcome to any of our free workshops here at the studio. We do have one coming up in January. We have 3 dates in January. I will leave the workshop link below if you'd like to come to that. And we look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thank you for watching.